Well, let's talk about solving equations again. So, this is a process that seems to get a lot of people hung up on in math, and mainly because it doesn't make sense to a lot of people. But let's talk about solving equations when you have a fraction in front of a set of parentheses. So, 3 halves times x plus 2 equals, and hey, let's go with let's go with 6. So 3 halves times x plus 2 equals 6. What I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply immediately both sides by the reciprocal of this fraction, which is a property I talked about in an earlier video. So I'm going to take the reciprocal of 3 halves, which is 2/3, and I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation by 2/3. And the reason why is because I'm going to cancel out that fraction. So I've got 6 times 2/3. And whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other to keep it balanced. Well, what is so fascinating about multiplying by the reciprocal is you immediately cancel out the 2 and the 3 on the left-hand side. And you're really left with, hey, x plus 2 equals 6 times 2 divided by 3. Well, if you do 6 times 2 divided by 3, you get x plus 2 equals 12 divided by 3. X plus 2 equals 4. Subtract 2 from both sides of the equation, and you get x equals 2. Really simple, right? Whereas, had you distributed, you would have had, because we originally had 3 halves x, 3 halves times x plus 2 in parentheses equal to 6. Had you distributed that fraction, it would have been nasty, and you would have to do a lot of steps. So you would get 3 halves x plus 3 halves times 2, and I'll use parentheses, equals 6. That's what you would have gotten. And so you'd be left with 3 halves x plus 6 divided by 2 equals 6. Simplify the 6 divided by 2. 3 halves x plus 3 equals 6. Subtract 3 from both sides of the equation to isolate the 3 halves x. So you have 3 halves times x equals 3. Multiply both sides by the denominator, which is 2. You get 3x equals 6. Divide both sides by 3, and you get x equals 2. Now, this is complicated. This is simple. Which one would you like to do? Hopefully you answered this one. If you like fractions, go for it. I find that a lot of people hate fractions. One thing my geometry teacher once told me was, fractions are your friends. And even my physics university professor said that too. His name was Dr. McLean. Funny guy. Fractions are your friends. And the reason why is because fractions are the same thing as division and multiplication. So basically you have a number divided by itself, so it is a process of division. So you can use it just like I did here via multiplication, because the opposite of division is multiplication. And remember that the reciprocal property, if you have a over b and you multiply by b over a, it's going to give you 1. So I really have, when I did this process right here, I really said I have 1 times x plus 2, and anything times 1 is itself, x plus 2. So I dropped the parentheses. So I'm still following the order of operations, I'm just processing it more quickly. So I hope this helps.